¡Me cago en Diola! ¿Pero qué carajo está pasando aquí? ¡Hostia! ¡Cago en la hostia! ¡Cago en Diola! ¡Para la máquina! ¡Para la máquina! ¿Qué carajo pasa?
Non sei, deixa un poquinho que
This video originally appeared in 2009 of a group of fishermen that some believe are either off the coast of Australia or Spain. The video shows two military jets interdicting a UFO that stops straight in the air and dives into the sea, creating a hell of a splash. Its original upload has been removed, but according to the website UFOsightingsfootage.uk, the description of the video used to say that the helicopter is ordering the fishermen to hurry and get away from the place where they are and to contact the port. As usual, commentators are torn on authentic or not, though I would argue if it's not authentic, this would require quite a sequence of events to set up.
Holy shit, what is that? I am. That's not plane. That is not an airplane. You see it? That is not a satellite and that is not an airplane. I've never seen anything like that before.
No information is given on this video footage, but we can clearly see a bright purple object soaring in the nighttime sky. The man recording the sighting seems to be in complete bewilderment of what he is witnessing.
It's back.
Okay, that thing, whatever the hell it is, came down really low. It was right over my head, just like with its feet. What the hell is that? Oh my God. Okay. Okay. I'm just out here minding my own business. Filming out here at the space fence.
We have a man who appears to be laying down when a bright object seems to break orbit and deploy multiple smaller orbs, which jet off in opposing directions. If what the witness says is true and he is at the space fence, then this is being filmed on the Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands. The space fence went live in 2020 by order of the US Space Force and is the world's most advanced radar.
Yo, I've never seen nothing like that.
This was taken in New York City sometime last year. A very strange pulsating blue light in the horizon has everyone on the street corner mesmerized. Posted on TikTok by Indigenous Thought, a massive spherical object passes over the viewer by roughly 100 feet, followed by a pair of F-16 fighter jets. Take what you will from this sighting. Many in the comments that believe it's fake still think it's good. According to a commentator on Instagram, this footage was filmed on the border of Oiapoque and French Guiana. What begins with two bright objects in the distance quickly becomes four, then two again. Interesting. This was uploaded on TikTok by Mr. Sikar, with no backstory, unfortunately. There appears to be a whirlwind of objects several hundred feet in the air that resemble metal plates possibly interacting with one another, creating this daunting arch lighting effect over the storefronts below. The comments are comical, but no one is quickly dismissing it. According to the uploader, this was filmed over Uzbekistan a few years ago, and yes, you guessed it, there is no backstory to the video. However, viewers are torn between this being a full-scale alien invasion to a computer-controlled drone storm. In either case, it's very impressive, and gives us an idea just how difficult it is to sort what is real and fake.
We had multiple viewers reach out to us after they say they spotted those rotating green lights in the sky. Now, Caden Little of Middletown reached out and he tells us he saw the lights around 10:30 or 11 last night. And take a look at this video he sent us. You can see a ring of bright green lights rotating in the sky. He saw the lights around 10:30 or 11 last night. And take a look at this video he sent us. You can see a ring of bright green lights rotating in the sky, and another video taken by Bryce Garrick also shows those lights, and then all of a sudden you can see the lights will quickly zoom off to the left of your screen, and then they just disappear.
What is that?
I don't know, but it's going way slow.
What is that? It's turning. It's coming this way now. What the is that?
I can't get this thing to zoom.
That's not a plane.
That is not a plane.
That is not a plane. What is behind it?
I don't know.
That's not a plane.
It is not. It is definitely.
Triangle UFOs. Oh my God! I need to get a video of this.
Yes, you do.
I have to get.
I want to get the other thing in the video too. There it is. That's weird. That is so weird. How do I zoom it?
You can hear it. That's so weird.
I'm getting shaky. I can't even keep it in the thing. It's almost like it's dragging whatever that is, but it's not dragging it. Whatever's blinking behind it.
It was right above us.
Yeah. I want to know what that is blinking behind it.
They're definitely following.
Yeah.
Those weren't in the right. The lights were not in the right shape to be a plane.
No.
Why would it be blinking?
I don't know. Did you get any video?
I didn't. It was too far away.
That's crazy.
Sighted over the capital city of Medellin, Colombia, in 2022. This object floats above the cityscape, hovering with minimal movement, with slight banking from left to right. It kind of reminds me of the old Disney movie Flight of the Aviator in its dimensions. According to the website latestUFOsightings.net, the original author of this capture told the outlet, "A friend of mine captured this object in the skies above Medellin, said it was stationary and rocking back and forth. There was a red glow underneath. It remained stationary. He said it was one solid object and rotated upside down. Definitely not a hang glider. It remained stationary and tilted against the wind. I've seen hang gliders in Medellin. I don't think this is that. I'll leave it to you to decide, is it extraterrestrial or something entirely else?" A month or so ago, we made a short of this video here that was captured by a pilot of a Cessna T-303 Crusader. This too has very sleek shapes like the prior video. Accounts from the pilot and co-pilot had this to say: the object was first seen floating stationary at a specific point between Medellin and Santa Fe. He and his co-pilot Daniel were flying towards Medellin when they noticed the object. As they approached the UAP, it suddenly moved towards them, prompting Arteaga to ask Daniel if he saw and heard it. Arteaga then turned the plane around, capturing the first video of the stationary object. As he was filming, the object moved slightly, and he began to hunt it with the aircraft. At this point, the UAP started moving towards them. Arteaga managed to avoid the object while flying at a speed of 130 to 140 knots, which is roughly over 300 kilometers per hour.
¿Qué es eso?
Just as we were becoming familiar with one style of UAP, UFO, we have yet another object in the vicinity of Colombia's capital, Medellin, taken in 2021. Unfortunately, not much context is given by the author. The structure appears to have a flat head surface, with perhaps a square body. It fails to give off much of its signature to the viewer. Some in the comments speculate they are seeing a kite, a balloon, and some believing that it's fire coming from the bottom that is giving off the reddish-orange cone-like shapes. Judging by the zoom out and the depth of scale, the object would need to be at least 1,000 feet in the air. I'm just going to say that is a lot of kite string, if it is.
Ya no lo veo. Ah, ya lo vi.
Pero flota, ¿cierto? Tan grande.
Sí. Sí, marica, es un ovni. Es un ovni, voy a hacer la perspectiva.
Ask yourself, what would an alien craft look like in your mind? This object spotted over Colombia's capital is one that has all the bells and whistles of what I would consider extraterrestrial. It gives off no evidence of a propulsion system, it's leaving no contrails, and just seems to stay in its own envelope of flight, with no visible windows, lights, or front to back. However, at the end, we do see it start to land in a perfect vertical drop, with no sway, intriguing to say the least. As you can imagine, many in the comments are frustrated the author didn't go to the site of its landing, while others write the object off as nothing more than an inflatable or large drone. February 2020, an Airbus A320 is soaring over once again the capital city Medellin of Colombia. The pilot captures a quick glimpse of his altimeter, revealing the craft is 30,000 feet in the air. Then, without hesitation, points his smartphone outside the cockpit to capture yet another object similar to the previous videos. The object, however, gives off a bit more geometry, revealing a cube-like structure, yet no sign of a propulsion system, or characteristics of a plane, drone, or anything else. Many in the comments share their own personal experiences with an object of similar appearance. One commentator states that they too are a pilot and have seen this object above Michigan at 41,000 feet.
Se quedó estátil, se quedó quietecito. Se quedó quieto, no se mueve. En un solo punto. ¿Será un ovni? Es que mira que no se mueve, hace ratico está ahí.
With a little help from Google Translate, this video was captured by Antioquia, Colombia, on November 8, 2020. Allegedly, there was dozens of people who caught this strange object in the sky that appears to be locked in place. This low-orbit object has a similar underbelly appearance and a shiny metallic coat. From TikTok, we have another sighting from the area of Medellin, Colombia. This sadly has no backstory to go along with it, but is arguably, in my opinion, one of the better UFO captures. A straightforward diamond-shaped metallic craft suspended in low altitude that doesn't seem to be at all affected by wind. With some unidentifiable details facing the camera, many in the comments think it's the eye of a pyramid, while others are just impressed on how clear it is. On March 11th, a 9.0 earthquake struck the area of Fukushima, Japan. The 9.0 magnitude quake was so forceful it shifted the Earth off its axis. It triggered a tsunami which swept over the main island of Honshu, killing more than 18,000 people and wiping entire towns off the map. At the Fukushima nuclear power plant, the gigantic wave surged over defenses and flooded the reactors, sparking a major disaster. Authorities set up an exclusion zone which grew larger and larger as radiation leaked from the plant, forcing more than 150,000 people to evacuate from the area. As the sun set, cameras around the nuclear plant started capturing 10 glowing objects hovering above the plant. Allegedly, people seen these orbs coming out of the water from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. when they finally all vanished at once. This would occur again the next night. This is just one sample of the objects seen over Fukushima in 2011. In fact, there is so much activity in this area that in 2021, a UFO research facility was opened in a town near Fukushima called Iino, which is known as the UFO town. We also have this footage above the Fukushima nuclear plant in 2011, shortly after the disaster. What some are calling a slip-up or leaked content from the German media group NDR, who originally filmed it, we have a massive line-shaped object hovering slowly in the evening sky. Some in the comments, however, believe it is nothing but an illusion caused by being filmed in a helicopter. I will let you decide. And one last video of what seems to be a fleet of UFOs was captured above Fukushima days after the disaster. This dazzling display of lights have a very synchronized showing and then implode and vanish from view. This sighting was spotted in Southern California on June 23, 2023. The details are limited as usual, but from what I can gather, the object was captured from the driver's side window of possibly the I-8 or I-15 freeway that passes through some arid regions. There is a red aura or propulsion color emitting from the object with a metallic shine off the front. In a recent video, we looked at the UFOs from Colombia, and many seem to share this shape. Some believe it to be a balloon, while others a new surveillance drone that the American government is using to watch its citizens. What do you think?
So alien obsessed. You didn't brush your teeth, did you?
It's like a balloon.
Yeah. Okay. Like one of those healing, like
It's a
what is it?
balloon.
Oh, what are they called?
It's gotta be a balloon.
I said it'd be a balloon.
This kid's afraid of sleeping in his own bed before UFO.
Here, hold the tongs.
Lift me up.
No.
I need to see. I need to see.
It's definitely gotta be a balloon.
There's no noise. It does not appear to be moving like a plane at all. Huh. Very weird.
A family driving home on the freeway caught these objects on their phone. Appears to be two objects both breaking orbit, with a light contrail leading from their entry. Sadly, no more information is given about the location where this was recorded. What do you think it might be?
Então bora beber, né? Acabou? O mundo vai acabar, bora beber. Parou, caralho! Parou, viado!
This footage comes from Manaus, Brazil. A group of onlookers watch as three objects descend rapidly out of the nighttime sky, then steadily slow down. The lowest object vanishes out of sight, leaving the middle object to suspend for a moment, then slowly fade away, as the last object we expect to burn out kind of regains some altitude and just lingers before finally fading as well. The last object's behavior suggests it might be something more than simply night skydivers or meteorites. Being called the Wire, this strange object was seen along the highway, in what appears to be a rural area. Just when you think you've seen every shape imaginable, this comes along. Viewers of the original post are completely baffled, one calling it a trap set by aliens. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Captured on a road trip, this UFO has a very common orb shape that I see mostly while going through videos. If you watch the video we did on Colombian sightings, nearly all of them were orb, or in one case, turtle shell shaped. However, it could just be a balloon, as one commentator suggests. Spotted in Poland this summer, here is another perfect example of a common orb-type object that we continue to see around the world. In April, the Pentagon released a newly declassified video of an orb, just like this one soaring above the Middle East. The following clip originates from Hawaii in 2015. Allegedly, a tropical storm had just passed through the area when a tourist at a local resort recorded this on their camera. According to the source of the uploader UFO and Aliens, this footage was analysed by the MUFON, or Mutual UFO Network, which is a non-profit organisation of volunteers who study reported UFO sightings. It is one of the oldest and largest organisations of its kind. In their analysis, they found no computer-generated material and believe the sighting to be authentic. The object is said to measure between 2 to 4 metres in diameter, or 6.5 to 13 feet. Commentators aren't completely on board with this, with some believing it's nothing but fishing wire, or an old tin can. As one person points out, it is still a UFO, as it hasn't been identified. In any case, it does have an interesting futuristic look to it. Posted to Twitter by UFO Hunter, the following footage is by an anonymous source who seems to be recording strange lights coming through a thick fog or smoke that is completely obscuring the nature of these orb lights.
I ain't never seen those in the sky in my life. Look how bright the fucking sky is, though. Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, tell me I'm tripping. If I'm tripping, tell me I'm tripping. But what the fuck is that? I ain't crazy. I promise y'all I ain't crazy.
Could this be multiple objects hovering in the daytime sky? Or is it simply, as one commentator suggests, stadium lights beaming through the mists? The lights appear to break apart at times, forming up to 4 uniquely sized orbs before the zoom merges them again. Posted to Twitter by Ghost X Activity, this video shows a driver allegedly on the United Kingdom who spots numerous bright objects cascading from the daytime sky. There also seems to be some lightning and a possible thunderstorm occurring. Check it out. As you can imagine, the comments have many weighing in on their thoughts about what these burning ember-like objects are. Some suggest flares, Chinese lanterns, drones, and one speculating the sun is having babies. I'll leave it to you to decide.
They're being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. I want us in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on. They weren't.
No information is given about the original context of this video, except from what we can gather, which appears to be a handheld camcorder recording of a group of men out at sea in late August of 1994. No sight of land, so we can assume this might be a commercial boat, large enough for ocean currents. Over the horizon, a hive of red lights appear to begin forming in clusters, clearly making the captain feel uncomfortable. We see a lot of ruby red UFOs that unfortunately are always too blurry to get a good read on. For example, this footage here was caught by Sim Kai Scott from Baltimore, Maryland, who was returning home with his shopping when he spotted these red lights. According to Penn News, he stated, "When I first looked up, there were 6, maybe 7 big, bright orange lights. They were distinctly orange, solid and round. I also thought they were awfully bright to be seen under the streetlights in the city." In an unexpected moment last year during a committee hearing on UFOs, Republican Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin pressed Pentagon officials on claims that a glowing red orb once shut down nuclear weapons in Montana. Gallagher also raised eyebrows by asking about a high-profile report of a glowing red orb that was reportedly observed over Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana in 1967, in which 10 of our nuclear ICBMs were rendered inoperable. Uploaded by Shayla Kesseth of the Facebook group UFO, UAP News, videos and chat recently in Albuquerque, New Mexico. 3 reddish orbs in the nighttime sky, holding a tight pattern, are seen a few hundred feet in the air. As one blinks away from view, the running lights of a helicopter can be seen blinking nearby that routinely circles the objects. There almost seems to be something very dark that is obscuring some of the orbs, because as we reach the end of the clip, 2 more orbs fizzle in and out of view.
Es un pájaro.
Tampoco.
Aquí lo tengo. ¿Pero qué pedo? Se ve poca madre. No, no creo, güey, no mames. Se ve perfecto. No mames. Se ve perfecto. Güey, no, órale. ¿Tú te estás grabando, cabrón? No mames. Sí, está el poquito prendido. Puta madre. O sea, se ve. Ve esa madre, padrísimo. ¿Qué pedo? Qué bárbaro. Cabrón. No mames, ¿de qué? O sea, no es un avión de esa madre. ¿Qué pedo? No mames, cabrón. No lo veo. No.
The first reaction to anyone who sees this video is the obvious wobble, making most viewers to quickly dismiss it as nothing but string and a hubcap. However, a team that did the special effects for the movie Titanic were not so quickly dismissive of what they saw.
And as it goes, that figure, you zoom in and the figure gets bigger.
Right.
Yeah, that's a difficult effect to do.
Yeah, the first thing we noticed was just that if it was done as an effect, it was done seamlessly because the zoom part it's natural. The hand holding of the camera is all natural, and whatever that is stays exactly with it perfectly.
How was it done?
My theory in looking at it is it looks like it's being suspended from something above, like a helicopter. It's so far away and hazy that if there was a cable there, you wouldn't see it.
Am I correct in hearing that you both agree this did exist over these buildings on that day when these pictures were shot?
More than likely.
You disagree whether it's a man-made hoax or a real deal craft of some sort.
From what we've been able to look at, it looks like either it was done amazingly well from a CG point of view, like in a computer effects place or something like that. But I don't really believe that. There's just too many things that make it look like it was really, really there. It was photographed in the camera, meaning that it wasn't affected afterward. Like, for instance, when it goes behind the building, the way the edge breaks apart is kind of consistent with the way video consumer cameras just kind of break up on those edges.
Allegedly filmed above the Philippines from a passenger jet, this video captures a flight thousands of feet in the air with little else to go on. A sudden appearance of pink orbs seems to come out of the horizon and dart in a zigzag, before slowly fading out and vanishing. Commentators are torn between this being simply a reflection, Captain Marvel, Superman, and of course extraterrestrial. What do you think?
Right at him. And now he's turning.
Ooh,
Yeah.
flashed.
Yeah, you see him?
Yeah, it just flashed.
I'm lasering at him, and he's curving. Shit, that right.
This footage was caught by a group out in Big Bear Lake, California. And what's interesting about this is how the UFO reacts when hit with a laser pointer. It's almost as if it's trying to perform evasive maneuvers to get away from it.
No.
It's
Yes.
like moving.
No, that's a UFO for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No, it's like that thing they show on.
Oh, whoa. What is that?
Michael Daniels captured 5 green lights moving around the night sky near Spicewood, Texas. Many in the comments expressed similar experiences seeing these objects, ranging well over a decade. Some expressed skepticism by how the camera tracked so flawlessly, with the 2 breaking off from the cluster. What do you think?
Look, the helicopter's going toward it, Julian. The helicopter's going toward it now.
Probably doesn't even see it.
Yeah, it's checking it out. It's like, what's going on?
Captured by Julian Lopez over Los Angeles, California. This footage is roughly 5 years old, but was witnessed by dozens at the time, making it very compelling evidence. If you watched our recent video, we covered a brief segment on the conference by NASA concerning UAPs held on May 31st. The metallic orb they discussed seems very similar to this object.
This is a typical example of the thing that we see most of. We see these all over the world, and we see these in making very interesting apparent maneuvers.
What the fuck is that thing, bro?
From UFO sightings on Facebook, we have another orb-like object above Northampton, UK. Unfortunately, very little else is known about the onlooker. Some in the comments suggest it's a balloon, a kite, or a drone. Personally, it seems quite large to be any of those, and appears to be a few hundred feet off the ground. I will leave it to you to decide. Captured in August of 2020, one of Mr. MM3's viewers submitted a video that she captured around midnight in an undisclosed area. We see 2 orbs that appear to be flaming and giving off some manner of exhaust while maneuvering in the night sky. Suddenly, 2 more orbs enter from the left and seem to engage with the others as they careen towards each other in a kind of joust. This repeats several times before they disengage. Like so many videos of this nature, we just don't have any more details to go on. From Latest Ufos on TikTok, this sighting is believed to come from Montreal, Canada. Very little else is given about the details. The lady is very concerned by what she is witnessing, as an object flies over the city skyline and behind one of the taller buildings. Some of the audio had to be muted to spare you the obscenities. There seems to be 4 different objects here, as we can see with the first pass and the second 12 minutes later. At first we see a wing formation, which is perfectly symmetrical. Then the object on the left seems to drop down below the dimmer light objects. Some argue in comments that it is simply helicopters or a reflection, while others are convinced it is of alien make. What do you think? Here is a series of pictures involving alien autopsies and cadavers being prepped for dissection. Many of the pictures seem to depict those with burns from possibly chemicals or fire. Several months ago, a member of the UFO Reddit community posted about the Varginha crash in Brazil. Allegedly, ammonia lingered around the city for days. In the area, the alien crash survivors were discovered. If aliens are ammonia-based the moment their controlled atmosphere is compromised, You would expect rapid physical changes in a rich oxygen and nitrogen environment. However, it is also very possible these are photos from the 1990s show X-Files. No one on Twitter seems to know their origination. This strange light phenomenon was captured in Shenyang, China, in September of 2021. Residents are seen taking pictures of the bizarre light formation that appears to rise from behind a building. Some meteorologists in China claim the phenomenon is based on two main factors. One is thick clouds, and the second is a lot of water vapor. I've always found thick clouds and water vapor led to rain, not to 100-story celestial-looking giants. Captured on May 28, 2023 in the midwestern state of Iowa. Two tic-tac-like objects seem to be joined, traversing the daytime sky. These two tic-tac UFOs are in perfect unison with their movements. We don't see any exhaust vapors or hear any sounds emitting from them. Also, nothing appears to be tethering them together in the middle either.
Reste ici, Rémi.
Okay,
Rémi, reste ici, viens voir.
Ok, je vais la rechercher.
Ah oui, tu l'as. Reste ici, Rémi. Papa, il est là, il s'en vient. C'est quoi? Ça a l'air... Hey, ça a deux moteurs.
C'est un vaisseau.
On le voit!
Vraiment...
Viens voir, maman, c'est vraiment nice.
C'est ça qu'on se demande, là.
Cache! Maman! Vite, viens voir!
Ah merde, j'ai perdu, ok, il est là.
Vite, check!
Merde. Ah, je capote.
Captured in Quebec, Canada in 2018, this family captures a very colorful object in the daytime sky. Some commenters argue the object is transforming from two objects into one. If you speak French, please let us know what they are saying in the comments.
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso. Sí, güey.
Se viene acercando más.
Sí, es una nave. A huevo hay que tomarnos el día.
In what might possibly be a truck stop in South America, or the border between the US and Mexico, a group in safety vests are excited about an orb-like object, several hundred feet away, in the overcasted sky. Remarkably, the object is quite clear and focused, and we can see a rigid pattern on its exterior. We see a lot of orb-shaped objects, but this is the first time I've seen one so defined. In the western region of the UK, in a place called Ystragan-Lace, Wales, this footage was captured July 26, 2023. At least 3 tic-tac objects can be seen sharing the daytime sky. There doesn't appear to be any contrails from any sort of propulsion or sound. They continue to zigzag back and forth, remaining in the location, refraining from large separations. In this other video, we have a very similar looking tic-tac object all the way across the pond in Bristol, Indiana, that was recorded just a month earlier in the daytime sky. Once again, no sign of contrails of an exhaust or sound. This tic-tac object simply moves effortlessly, traversing thousands of feet up. Sadly, the person who recorded this footage struggled with keeping the object zoomed in, but nonetheless it does give us some outline characteristic.
Let's see what that is.
It's moving around in circles.
On July 10th of this year, a resident of Menlo Park, California, with I assume his son, captured a metallic sphere hovering in the daytime sky. The witness stated as they watched for several minutes, the object slowly ascended higher into the sky and eventually vanished.
The panda is road.
پدافند اصلا فعال شده این جسم نورانی رو داره میزنه میخوام بزنم ولی نمیتونم هرچی هم شلیک میکنن از که نمیرسه بهش قبلش فشنگا
Recorded back on July 14th of this year, in an urban area of Iran, this footage shows a bright orb in the nighttime sky. According to the Facebook poster of this video, the Iranian military opened fire on the object, as we can see with the tracer rounds lighting up the bullet path. This doesn't seem to have any effect on the bright object, that just continues to stay suspended in the air. What you are about to see is a speech given by Paul Hellyer, a former defence minister for Canada in the 1960s. What he says is simply astonishing and would be immediately thrown out as nonsense by anyone without his credibility. Here is his keynote speech, given at the X conference in 2008.
Decades ago, visitors from other planets warned us about where we were headed and offered to help. But instead, we, or at least some of us, interpreted their visits as a threat and decided to shoot first and ask questions after. The inevitable result was that some of our planes were lost, but how many were due to retaliation and how many were as a result of our own stupidity is a moot point. Wilbert Smith, one of the first Canadians to take an active interest in the subject of UFOs, asked the visitors about the accidental destruction of our aircraft by flying into the vicinity of a flying saucer. The response, and this is Wilbur's words, we were informed that although a few of our aircraft had come to an unfortunate end by what they considered the colossal stupidity of our pilots, they were now taking corrective measures to avoid our aircraft. I asked them, and this is still Smith, I asked them what happened, and they said, well, the fields around the saucers in order to hold them up, in order to produce the gravity differential, the time field differentials which were necessary to operate the ship. These sometimes produced field combinations which reduced the strength of materials to the point where they were no longer strong enough to carry the loads that the materials were expected to carry. Now, as we know, aircraft, particularly the military type, are built with a rather small factor of safety. And in these regions of reduced binding, the materials are no longer strong enough to carry the load, and the craft simply comes apart. When I read that, I was reminded of the late, great soprano Lily Pons, who used to smash crystal goblets with her high C. She would direct the sound at them, and something in the sound waves would change the structure of the glass, and it would fly apart. Well, this didn't satisfy our military chiefs, who must have thought that it was more important to secure American nuclear superiority, even though using it would result in the annihilation of us all, than to take the hint and start moving the planet back from the brink of global disaster. They, the military, must have been and still are so paranoid that they feel it necessary to use the visitors' technology to fight them off, rather than welcome them as partners in development, though they may have seconded a few renegades to assist them in what can best be viewed as diabolical developments. Stephen has said that talking about UFOs is passé, and that we should be talking or limiting our talk to exopolitics. Well, Stephen, I agree with you in theory, but in reality we have a problem when official U.S. policy insists that UFOs don't exist. The veil of secrecy must be lifted, and it has to be lifted now, before it is too late. It is ironic that the U.S. would begin a devastating war, allegedly in search of weapons of mass destruction, when the most worrisome developments in this field are occurring in your own backyard. It is ironic that the U.S. should be fighting monstrously expensive wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, allegedly to bring democracy to those two countries, when it itself can no longer legitimately claim to be called a democracy, when trillions, and I mean thousands of billions of dollars, have been spent on projects about which both the Congress and the Commander-in-Chief have been kept deliberately in the dark. How much has been accomplished in 60 years of feverish activity by some of the most educated minds in the United States? Has America developed flying saucers that are visually indistinguishable from the visitors, as alleged? And if so, what do they propose to do with them? Even more critical, what progress has been made in the development of clean energy sources that could conceivably replace fossil fuels and save the planet from becoming a veritable wasteland? Well, who has the answers? Someone does, but apparently they aren't telling either secretaries of defense or presidents because they don't have, quote, a need to know. In a story told by Dr. Stephen Greer, President Clinton was asked a question by White House reporter Sarah McClendon about why he didn't do something about disclosure. And Clinton replied, "Sarah, there's a government inside the government, and I don't control it." Excuse me, doesn't the Commander-in-Chief and the person who allegedly has their finger on the nuclear trigger have a right to know what his subordinates are doing? The people of the United States who have paid the bills have the right to know. The people of the world demand to know because it is our descendants too whose lives are in mortal danger. It is time for the people of the United States to launch a new war against the evil of lies, deceit, and darkness, and go all out to win the victory of truth and transparency and light. Thank you.